AOC apparently went onto Instagram and had some things to say about Jill Stein. Now, apparently there was a question that appeared here. Shout out to Hotspot for this. AOC takes to Instagram to criticize Jill Stein's campaign, calling the Green Party unserious and predatory. So there was a question here. How do I tell my friends who are Jill Stein voters they are wasting their time and effort? So before we get into this video, because I have a lot to debunk here, one thing I want to say is this. As I said to Blakely in the conversation we had earlier, I've had criticisms of the Green Party, and we've had those conversations like on the show with other Green Party members. And I'm not a member of the Green Party. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm a registered independent. So just keep that in mind. So that being said, while I've had criticisms of the Green Party, I think it is disingenuous to use the criticisms that AOC used and not explain why things happened the way that they did, which is exactly what AOC does. She also tells a couple of lies in this as well. And then I'll tell you what she should have said. And there is clapbacks coming her way. Listen to this.
Y'all, this is a little spicy, but I have thoughts. I feel like I should save this for a live. I'm not coming for people who are thinking about this. I'll talk to you. What I have a problem with is the fact that if you are running for president, you are the de facto leader of your party. And first of all, trust me on this. I run as a third party candidate in New York. I'm also run as a working families party candidate in a
pause. So that's a lie. Lie number one. The Working Families Party is not a third party. The Working Families Party is basically like a baby of the Democratic Party. So it's supposed to be progressive candidates that can run through the Working Families Party, but they've also run other ones as well. I'll show you that in just a second. But the Working Families Party, in the end, multiple times has endorsed corporate Democrats instead of endorsing the progressive candidates. In fact, Imani Oakley, who ran as a progressive Democrat in New Jersey, she really voiced her frustration about this on Twitter because it happened to her. Instead of the Working Families Party backing the progressive candidate, they were backing corporate Democrats. So I think people really need to clear the air about that. I don't want people to be confused. That is not a third party. It is like a minor party, which is like, again, a baby of the Democratic Party. So they don't have the same struggles that like the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, that they have. AOC is lying. And I'm not going to say she does not know. She knows. She's lying, and she's lying on purpose.
Working Families Party candidate in addition to running as a Democrat. Because trust me, I've been on record that about my criticisms of a two-party system. So this is not about that. But you are the leader of your party. And if you run for years and years and years and years and years in a row, and your party has not grown, and you don't add city council seats, and you don't add down ballot candidates, and you don't add state electeds.
Pause. That is a second lie. The Green Party has politicians on the local level. I know because I've interviewed them on this show. So that's lie number two. There have been Green Party candidates that run for school board, that run for mayor, that run for governor, that run for city council. I've interviewed those people, and I've also interviewed those that have won. In fact, it was just about, I think 2 years ago, there was a Green Party candidate that won the comptroller election in California. I believe that kid was only 19 years old. It was like a big story and left independent media. Yes, of course, Janice, Matthew Ho, who was probably one of the most popular Green Party candidates running on the local level in during the Biden administration. Matthew Ho was on almost everyone's show. So that is a blatant lie. That's lie number two. We're going to count the lies. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue.
That's bad leadership. And that to me is what's upsetting.
It's bad leadership, she says. Let's go back. Because look at how comfortable AOC has become. Look at how, cocky she has become.
Add state electeds. That's bad leadership. And that to me is what's upsetting. Because if you have been your party's nominee for 12 years in a row.
That's lie number 3. Okay. So you see a lot of the people watching her on Instagram, they didn't do their own research, so they don't realize how many lies she's telling. Number 3, we're at 1 minute and 10 seconds. Jill Stein did not run for president in 2020. Howie Hawkins ran for president in 2020. So how is it 12 years in a row? So there's that. 2, let's all remember Jill Stein initially was not running for president for 2024 through the Green Party. Cornel West was the Green Party candidate. Cornel West left the Green Party. In order for the Green Party to keep the ballot access lines, they have to run a candidate for president. They have to run candidates on the local level as well. So, as Jill Stein has explained multiple times in multiple interviews, it was a toss-up between herself and Ajamu. She wanted Ajamu Baraka to run. He wanted her to run, and she ended up being the one to run. So technically also, if Cornel West would not have left the Green Party, Jill Stein would not be running this time either. But that was lie number 3. Let's continue.
4 years ago and 4 years before that and 4 years before that. And you cannot grow your movement pretty much at all and can't pursue any successful strategy. And all you do is show up once every 4 years.
Pause. You can't grow the movement at all. Why can't they grow the movement? So here's where she's being disingenuous, because AOC doesn't want to tell her apparently uninformed viewers on Instagram that the Democratic Party, her party, actively removes the Green Party off the ballot. They sue them. And so the Green Party has to use a lot of those funds to fight the lawsuits just to get back on the ballot. This is what the Democratic Party does. And the Republican Party does it to the Libertarian Party too. This is what they do. They sue them into oblivion so that they don't have money left. Now you want to talk about grow. Jill Stein made it to the 5%. They got the notification that they now qualify for the federal funds. Jill Stein reached out. The Treasury Department says, yes, you've reached it, but we're not going to give it to you right now. That federal funding actually means a lot, and that can help the Green Party grow further. Again, I don't have to explain something like this to AOC. AOC is very much aware of what I am telling you. She is fooling people. She is an actress. So you have to understand, I heard some people say that maybe she just doesn't know. Stop giving her that credit. She does know. Let me let her finish here.
To speak to people who are justifiably pissed off, but you're just showing up once every 4 years to do that. You're not serious.
Jill Stein only shows up once every 4 years. So AOC is going to ignore all the activism that Jill Stein does on the ground when she was not running for president. She's going to ignore. You know where Jill Stein is right now? She's in Tampa, supporting Chairman Amali Yeshitela and the Uhuru movement for their trial. AOC's not there. Have you even heard AOC even mention Chairman Amali Yeshitela? Have you even heard AOC even mention the Uhuru movement? Has she said any damn thing on social media about the Biden administration attacking Black socialists? No, because she's not really a socialist either. She's just cosplaying one. Not one thing. You didn't hear her say one thing. You want to talk about people not showing up? AOC was the one who promised to come to the Amazon event and basically stood up Chris Smalls and them. And it is only because Chris Smalls spoke out about it and told everybody she promised us that she was going to be here. This is when they were still striking. He's like, she didn't show up. And it was only because, and I'm going to keep it real, it was only because Crystal Ball called her out on Twitter and AOC responded to Crystal Ball. She didn't respond to other people who were calling her out. She responded to Crystal Ball and said, how could you do this? Then the next thing you know, her and Bernie Sanders show up at an Amazon event after they had already won. But you weren't there when they needed you for the fights. She was doing Vogue covers.
You're not to me, it does not read as authentic. It reads as predatory. I'm sorry. I'm just saying it.
It doesn't read as authentic. It reads as predatory. So let me tell you what I think is predatory and what is not authentic. AOC is not authentic. AOC, how can you talk about being authentic when you lied about your background because you thought it would sell better for Justice Democrats? How can you sit up there and talk about authentic? I grew up in the Bronx. You didn't grow up in the Bronx. You went to school and lived in Westchester County. So you went to school in one of the best school districts in the area. Why are you pretending like you was from the hood and you were not? That wasn't authentic. You know what else is not authentic and predatory? Pretending to be a socialist. Voting against railroad workers, voting for war, voting to fund Ukraine, not standing up against the Iron Dome. That's predatory. Cosplaying as a socialist, pretending to be down for the people and down for the cause. When I told you she is a future Nancy Pelosi in the making, I was not kidding. Don't forget, Nancy Pelosi also came in the beginning saying we need universal health care, and she flipped because she wanted to have a political career. AOC is doing the same thing. Jill Stein's platform is to the left of AOC. It is what AOC would have run on the very first time she ran for office. She's kind of moved away from some of those things. You don't even hear her talk about Medicare for all anymore now. She's in with the club. She's taking pictures with Hillary and all of them. That's fraudulent. That's not authentic. That is predatory. You went out there and you took a lot of money from working class people who were not regular voters. You got them to come out and support you over Crowley just so that you can step into his shoes and pave the way for yourself and become another corrupt politician. That's predatory. It's predatory to take money from poor people. It's predatory to take money from working class people and you sit up there and you sell the workers out. That's predatory, AOC.
Because as a person, I endorse Working Families Party candidates. I endorse DSA candidates. I take risks and I endorse even in primaries against Democrats when it's merited. What does this person do to grow power for y'all?
So to grow power, she says. She endorsed DSA candidates and Working Families candidates. Those people are Democrats. Okay? DSA is not a third party. This is what people get wrong. And she's just lying her fucking ass off. And to all the commentators, by the way, all the commentators who are sitting up there backing her and defending her, shame on you. Because you know damn well the platform that Jill Stein has is the one that AOC pretty much ran on when she ran the very first time. You know that Jill Stein has those policies that you support if you are a leftist, if you are progressive. You know that shit. Shame on you. Rational National. You don't even live here, son. You don't even live here. This guy live in Canada and he trying to tell us what we should do to get health care in our country. And he live in a country where everybody got health care. Get out of here. Let me tell you why she really mad. Let me tell you why she really mad. Abandoned Harris posted this. I wonder why everyone is suddenly ganging up on Jill Stein. Check this out, fam. Muslim voters evenly split between Jill Stein and Kamala Harris. New poll finds. The poll shows a 40% drop in Muslim support for Democrats. That's why they're mad. That's why the Democratic Party sent AOC after Jill Stein. And people are like, well, she got the question on Instagram. She could have answered that question like this. Well, I am backing and supporting Kamala Harris. However, I do, approve of democracy, and everybody has the right to vote for who they want to vote for. However, if it were for me, I would vote for Kamala Harris. That's how she could have answered that question. No, she took that opportunity to smear Jill Stein. She took that opportunity to try to throw Jill Stein under the bus. How about you do something, AOC? How about you do something for your people, okay? How about you take your own goddamn energy and you try to stop AIPAC from kicking out your own damn comrades? How about you do that shit? While you focusing on what the Green Party doing, AIPAC sat up here and took out Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman. You were spared because you conflated anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism in that webinar to save your political ass. So how about you do that, AOC? How about you put your energy and your time into preventing big money from taking out your damn comrades? Why don't you do that shit instead of worrying about what the Green Party's doing? And I'm not even a Green Party member, but you really ain't got room to talk, son. You really don't have room to talk. You can't even keep your comrades who came in with you as the squad. You can't even keep them in their seats. Your presence doesn't even do what it used to do anymore. You went to Jamal Bowman's rally, you and Bernie Sanders, and you still couldn't save Jamal. That's failure. You want to talk about failure? That's failure. Anybody find Jamal? Anybody? She said Jill Stein isn't doing anything when she's not running for president. Lisa Savage posted this. Here's Dr. Jill Stein standing next to me when I ran as a Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate in 2020. Remember, again, Howie Hawkins ran in 2020, not Jill. Jill supported me throughout the campaign, advising on strategy and staffing. We got 5% of votes cast. AOC shills for corporate interests and says what they tell her to. And there's Jill right here in the picture. Where's Jill Stein right now? Jill and Ajamu in a room together for the first time in years. What a moment to be present for the Green Party. Jill Stein in Tampa. There's Jackie Lukeman from Black Power Media in Tampa, Florida for the Uhuru movement, for the Uhuru trial. Don't let this woman sit up there and tell you that Jill doesn't do anything else. She's lying, and she should be ashamed of herself. She wants to bring up the Working Families Party, but she don't want to show you this part. This is very important for people to see. Austerity is Theft said this. Kamala Harris is the endorsed Working Families Party candidate for New York in 2024. Everybody hear that? Kathy Hochul and Chuck Schumer both ran on the line in 2022. So did Biden in 2020. So did Andrew Cuomo in 2018 after repeatedly rat fucking the Working Families Party. The Working Family Party is not consistent. If you're a Democrat, you can run on the Working Families Party. Do you see what I'm saying? Here's more about the Working Families Party that she don't want to tell you. Shout out to Sabby. The Working Family Party endorsed Andrew Cuomo over Cynthia Nixon, Cuomo over Zephyr Teachout, Joe Crowley over AOC, Liz Warren over Sanders, and refused to release the voting data. Seen enough. Don't forget, Cynthia Nixon, Zephyr Teachout, AOC were the progressive candidates. We need to find out what happened in Zephyr Teachout because she had said some things. Working Families Party. AOC don't want to tell you where they getting the money from. You know, it's easy to grow when the Democrats aren't suing you all the damn time to keep you off the ballot, and you're taking, you're taking millions of dollars. That's not grassroots money. You're getting money from people like George Soros. Hello. George Soros pumped $125 million into his super PAC. Here's who gets the money. Let's scroll down. See, these are the things she don't want to tell you. This woman should be ashamed of herself right here. Working Families Party National PAC received $50,000. What they do, the Working Families Party National Political Committee supports progressive candidates. So you see how the word progressive has been watered down? So they're getting money from George Soros. If you were getting $50,000, if you were getting that kind of money, and that's just what they got from him. If you were getting that kind of money, yeah, of course you can grow. If you're not getting sued off the ballot all the time, of course you can grow. Jill Stein has a platform for the working class. Kamala don't even have a platform. Okay. See, at one point in time, this is what AOC stood for. This is what the Justice Democrats stood for. This is a platform they would have loved. Platform for the working class. 3 weeks paid sick leave, 8 weeks paid vacation, 1 year parental leave, federal jobs guarantee, a guaranteed livable income above poverty, support worker-owned cooperatives, expand the right to unionize to include domestic and agricultural and gig workers, $25 hour minimum wage, end wage discrimination and wage theft, repeal the Taft-Hartley Act and end the right to work laws, veto any legislation to break strikes. A platform for the working class. This woman wants you to get behind Kamala Harris because she's a woman, a person of color, and she's not Donald Trump. But this woman ain't got no damn platform. And she just wants you to hop on and get into that passenger seat. And everybody else can sit up there in the driver's seat. And you just supposed to go along for the ride. Well, I don't know about you folks, but I'm tired of being in the passenger seat. I don't really like other people driving my damn bus. And that's what AOC wants you to do. She don't want you to fight for anything. She just wants you to go along what the Democratic Party wants you to do. Jill Stein has a black agenda. Does Kamala Harris have one? Hell to the no. The so-called I'm a black woman candidate has no black agenda. Nothing. A platform for black liberation, reparations, restore voting rights, redress healthcare disparities, eliminate food deserts, end the water crisis, stop polluting black communities. Kamala don't even want to talk about that. She don't even want to talk about getting the environmental pollution out of black communities, which is big part of the reason why the life expectancy is years less in black communities. She don't even want to touch that, son. She too busy, her and Biden out there approving pipelines and drilling their asses off. Who is affected by that? What communities are affected by that? Indigenous communities and black communities. And that's what they want you to vote for. They don't care nothing about us. We got to have a serious conversation about what is the future for Black Americans, because the future for Black Americans is not going to get us far in the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. We have to organize outside of all of this. They are poisoning your communities. Justice for Black farmers. Stop cop cities. Community control of police. Ban white nationalists from police. Invest in HBCUs. Justice for Cancer Alley Act. Reinvest from policing and prisons to community building programs. Now, your so-called black woman candidate don't even have a black platform. But some of the people from her campaign might be watching and they might try to, oh, you should probably come up with something for the black people, even though you're not going to do it. Now, Butch Ware, who is Jill Stein's running mate, he responded to AOC. So I think you should see this.
I heard a rumor that AOC Pelosi, holder of the land speed record for quickest betrayal of the people, has had something to say out the side of her neck about my sister soldier, Dr. Jill Stein, and called our behavior predatory. Interesting. See, we don't take no PAC money. We are not knee-deep in Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and y'all's blood money. So we can't come out every day. We come out every 4 years when it's time to give the American people a choice. And in the meantime, Greens are on the ground working Park and Recreation Board, City Councils, Mayor's offices, while y'all are partying at your Met Gala and muzzling Palestinians. Predatory. Predatory is murdering 200,000 people in 11 months. And then when they try to speak up, muzzling them when they come up on the stage. You slaughter Palestinians like animals, and then you muzzle them like animals. And I have seen the data. We already know that you have lost Michigan. We already know that you have lost Pennsylvania. We already know that you have lost Georgia, and that's why you're panicking. You went from 65% of the Muslim vote in those places to under 20%. You're finished. Dead man walking, AOC Pelosi. And you saw the numbers, where 29% of Muslims across the nation are voting with Jill Stein and Butch Ware. And they haven't even seen us on the stage yet. Your cosplay activism, narc, means nothing to real public servants. Because y'all are some politicians that sold out for the dough. The worst part for you is that you never saw us coming. But when your party is broken, crashing and burning in the disastrous genocide, soaked in blood in your electoral defeat, you will have no one but to blame but yourselves.
The internal polls. Remember, there's internal polling. And he's correct. Remember, they see things that we don't see. They already know. That part there when he said, you never saw us coming. Nope, they weren't paying attention to him. They're just like, oh, well, the Greens, we know what they're going to do, whatever. Larry Sharp had something to add. I want you to hear it as well. What happens to the people who did try to grow the party? Now, he's with the Libertarian Party, but he had some things to say to AOC, because if I remember correctly, they're in the same district. Listen to this.
Then she goes in and say, well, if you had this time and you don't grow this, there was a guy who did, AOC. And it was the same year that you ran for office, if you remember. In 2018, when you ran your first chance for office, when you got $2 million given to you, $2 million given to you, heavily by PACs, supported by many people, there was another guy running in New York, too, at the same time. He was in your district. His name was Larry Sharp. That idiot was me. That idiot who was me ran in 2018 and didn't work either and was not funded by anybody. I raised $500,000 and did not work for over a year. I was $100,000 in debt after that 2018 run. You can imagine living in New York City, 4 people in my family, wife not working, and I wasn't working either. So we just went to debt. After we had done this, I got 2% of the vote, fighting all the people that tried to get me off the ballot. I got attacked, of course, challenged, of course, because I know what it is to be sued off the ballot, but I made it. I know what it is to be kept out of debates because Cuomo wouldn't show up. And then after I got my 2%, you know what I did? I did exactly what you said. You're right. I went around the state again in 2019, growing the party. We went from 15 county affiliates. There are 62 counties in New York State, for those you don't know. We had about 15 when I started. At the end, we had 30. So I doubled the local affiliates. Look at that. I'm growing, like you said. I had 107 local victories. Like you said, city council, water board, all the things you just I had all of them. I was doing what you said. And then you know what happened? Your party, your people changed all the rules in New York State, destroying my party, ensuring we could never get back on the ballot, and crushing the 107 victories that I had. Your system that you have criticisms about, I wish you stop having criticisms and instead support third parties. That would be better.
Everybody hear that? So see, this is the part that AOC leaves out. Because she's not really trying to have that type of change. She just wants to grow within the Democratic Party. And to prove a point, Jill Stein posted this earlier. Now, they'll be able to fight back it just like the other ones, but still, the Democrats are suing to kick the Greens off the Georgia ballot. So notice where they're suing them, right? It was Wisconsin, it was Michigan, it's Georgia, because they know, like what Bill Ware said, they saw the internal polls. So it says they're suing to kick Green Party off of Georgia's ballot. The party that keeps preaching about saving democracy is going all out to keep voters like you from having a real choice. Pitch in to help us fight back and spread the word. So yeah, they won the battle in Wisconsin. They won the battle in Michigan. Now they're coming after them in Georgia. Don't you guys think it's weird they're coming after them in certain states? Interesting, huh? Thursday night, we're going to play 270 to win. We haven't played that in a while. I'm going to show you different scenarios. And I want to take you back to a time, 2019. This was during SXSW convention where AOC actually said you should vote for who you think. Listen to this. 2019. I want to show you the difference. Listen to it.
I think the person we believe in is the person who will win. And so I think that even if who we believe in is different, I think that in this first initial stage, we have a responsibility to find and really fight for who we believe in.
Everybody heard that? You have a responsibility to find and really fight for who you believe in. That was 2019. You know who she was talking to when she was sitting on that couch? Wait for it. Wait for it, besties. She was talking to Brianna Joy Gray. 2019. When was the last time AOC sat down and talked to Brianna Joy Gray? Has AOC spoke to Brianna Joy Gray since Biden won the election? When was the last time you saw AOC on independent media? Tell me in the chat. When was the last time? Does everybody see how things have changed? And out of all of them, I wouldn't expect her to sit down with me, but Bree was Bernie's press secretary. See how things have changed? I love this, by the way. I love this comment right here. Something AOC needs to realize. Does AOC realize her refusal to challenge the Democratic Party leadership is exactly why so many people have chosen to vote for the Green Party? She is the proof change cannot happen in the Democratic Party. Shout out to Mark C. Washington in the house, also known as @MarkyMark. 5.2K likes on that tweet. If the squad would have fought back against Dem leadership, and I know we can all go down the force the vote lane, but even outside of force the vote, if they would have fought and pushed back against Democrat leadership, I think a lot of us would still believe in this project. I think a lot of us probably still would have been like, okay, yeah, let's keep getting more progressives in there. The problem is they didn't. And this is the part that AOC doesn't want to accept because she knows what she's doing. She's spending more time smearing Jill Stein. She has more anger, more resentment towards Jill Stein than she does towards big money interests, the Israeli lobby, for kicking out her comrades. She's more mad at Jill Stein instead of being mad at the system. You know what I'm saying? And this is the person you think that's supposed to come in there is going to fight for you. This is the person who she's flip-flopped on reparations too, by the way. This is the person that you think is supposed to come in there and is going to be like, yeah, I'm going to fight for you. We're going to do all this. This is the person you expect to fight. She won't even fight back against big money interests. Now, no, she's not taking money from the Israeli lobby, but she sat up there and she did that webinar for him. That was enough. There's a reason why DSA unendorsed her ass. There's a reason why. So here's what I need people to do. All of you online on social media, stop trying to win her over. Stop trying to get her to come back. I see people saying, AOC, no, I miss the old AOC. Why can't you do this? She's gone. Stop trying to get her to come over to your side. She's gone. She's done. She's already on track. If she's following the path, I think she is already on track to go for the Senate and then to go for president. She's gone. Ain't no changing her. Let her go and move forward. It sucks, but let her go and let her move forward. Let's look at what the poll says. Shout out to Eric for the poll. Why is AOC attacking Jill? 2,300 votes. The 2024 race is tight. 10% said that one. 27% says dim leadership told her to. 7% said abandon Harris, endorse Jill. And 55% said all of the above. There you have it.